Well, did you count your blessings on Thursday? Lots to be thankful for. So many people, so many things, and all of you. I count all of you as a blessing in my life. I am just so thrilled to have you as part of this community. So that definitely was one of the blessings that I counted this week. Today we're going to be completing our series this month, which is Awakening to Grace. As I was preparing this week, I found myself wondering if it was possible to live from a place of thanksgiving. We have this one day a year where we get prepared for a week or so ahead of time. We cook a huge meal. We gather with our friends and our family. We count all of our blessings around the table. We eat leftovers for a week. And then the next day we hit the ground running. We're shopping and decorating and getting ready for the next holiday. It's over in 24 hours. It's over in 24 hours. Instead of just one day, can we live from a place of thanksgiving every day, even in the hard stuff? Even in the hard stuff. Oh, let's look. Let's see if we can. When we start with the principle, the basic idea in this teaching that all is God, nothing excluded. It requires us to let go of anything that we may consider to be outside of God. Them, those people, that stuff, that we can have an idea to push that stuff away and say that couldn't possibly be God. While I get those things can be large hurdles that we set up in our minds of places that are excluded, I believe we can overcome them. I believe we can break through them. The science of mind teaching tells us there's nothing outside of the divine. There's nothing outside of spirit, source. There's one presence, one power, oneness that is in through and as all of its creation. If we start thinking things are separate, we start to think of duality and two powers. And that's not part of what we teach. It's all one. We're all one. All of us on this little blue ball that's spinning rapidly in space, we're one. We are one. These words are simple, but they can be challenging, lifelong practice to truly embody them. As we deepen our practice, connecting more and more with our source, our awareness begins to shift. Do you remember when you first began studying this new thought teaching? And you begin to have some new ideas and see life with a different perspective. You had a shift in awareness, yes? And that continues, hopefully, if we continue to practice, that continues throughout the rest of our lives. We continue to deepen. That's one thing that in my 25 years of study I've realized is that I'm never done. There's always more to learn and understand and deepen into what is this thing called spirit, called oneness, and how do I live within that? Our thankfulness, when we stay with the practice, our thankfulness, this idea of gratitude every day, becomes not just a reaction to good, not just a reaction to good. It becomes a recognition of the truth principle that this and everything is part of the one. For we know that our thoughts and words are powerful, right? No? Yes? We know they're powerful. I mean, just in our conversation, our words are powerful. They can heal or they can harm. So, what if we considered replacing I'm grateful for something that has happened as a reaction to I'm grateful even in the midst of this icky, ugly, not fun thing, whatever that is. I'm still grateful. I'm still thankful in this moment. That's a big ask, isn't it? That's a big ask. It will create a shift in our awareness of oneness. Ask yourself, can I be grateful in the midst of a seeming challenge or chaos I might be experiencing in my life right now? Can I find gratitude there? Can I find God? When we begin this shift in our mind, we begin the rewiring process of our subconscious. That's that operating system that runs in the background all the time that kind of runs us. And sometimes we're not aware of what it's doing. But when we can begin to shift our conscious thinking, we begin to rewire that subconscious so that that operating system begins to operate at the same level of our conscious awareness of this idea of gratitude. And we begin to see the world through love and not just through its wrongness and our preferences. Our preferences. And this is the shift that allows us to begin to see spiritually that nothing is excluded from God. Nothing. Living every day from thank you. Living every day in that sense of gratitude, that sense of thank you, is about oneness. And it's about living in grace. Excuse me. It doesn't mean you have to be grateful for the challenges, for the illness, for the delays, for the losses, for the conflict. Right? I'm not going to stand here and say you got to be grateful for that stuff because that's not what we're talking about. It means you'll discover how to be grateful within these circumstances, within these situations, because the presence of the divine is still present in it all. That's the shift. That's the difference. This is the mindset required when we no longer judge by appearances. If we reflect on past experiences, we've all had some not so nice, some not so fun. The ones that broke our hearts, the ones that caused us pain, broke our spirit. Probably all had some of those. We can look back on those experiences and see the possibility of adopting this truth because of what we've experienced. You are here now, today, present. You survived. You learned. You grew through it. You expanded in your awareness. You made it. That's how life works. We have these challenges. We have things that hurt us, and we grow through them. We expand through them. We become renewed through them. I don't know about you, but I don't want to walk through many of them again. But I'm glad I did, and I have grown through them to be who I am today. And I know that there's going to be more, but I also know that I can grow through those as well. Now, earlier in the service, you heard us pass around the microphone talk about our gratitude. And I love doing that each week. I love hearing how Spirit is showing up in your lives and what you're grateful for and the good that's coming to you. I love that. But do you ever feel like you're under pressure to come up with something? I've got to find something to be grateful for. There's just got to be. What's wrong with me? Everybody else has got something to be grateful for. Where's mine? But maybe something icky's got your whole attention this week. Maybe something happened. You're dealing with a situation. You're dealing with a loss. You're dealing with just not feeling well. Those are the times it can be hard to stand up and take the microphone and say, I'm grateful. I get it. I get it. That's what invites us to shift our thinking. That's what invites us is to find gratitude in whatever is happening. We don't need to know the details of the not pleasant things that are happening in our lives. And you may be in the messy middle of it and not even able to talk about it. And that's okay. We've all had messy middles, haven't we? But can we find gratitude in the midst of the mess? What if we changed the question a little bit? What if we started saying things like, I'm grateful in the midst of this confusion because I know clarity is unfolding. I know clarity is unfolding because that's how life works. I'm grateful in this painful situation because it's leading me to growth. Because I know I have grown through pain in the past and that can help me grow again. I'm grateful in this messy middle because life is still guiding me. I still hear the small, still voice within me guiding me through this, giving me strength. I invite you to close your eyes for just a moment if you're comfortable and think of a challenge that you may be experiencing currently, something that you've recently gone through, or maybe you're supporting someone else in going through a rough time right now. Just take a little breath and ask yourself, can I find any gratitude in the midst of this? Is there good in it? Is God here? Open your eyes. If this was challenging for you, I get it. I sometimes find myself going, hey, God, where are you? What's going on? I'm expecting the good to show up. I'm expecting things to work out easily, and they don't. Can I find my gratitude there? What I usually discover, it's just not working out on my timeline and my terms. But what I've discovered is that it usually does always work out. It always usually works out. I may be scratching my head for a while, wondering what ever happened in the first place, and then maybe why it took so long. Lots of questions. But I usually know what I need to know when I need to know it. Think about your life and the times that you've been challenged and look at where you are today. Are you better? Are you new and improved? Usually. Usually we are. Now, I realize that this idea of practicing gratitude and thanksgiving in the midst of challenge and pain and struggle can be difficult to accept and can feel like that science of mind Pollyanna stuff again. But I have some practices that I want to offer us some tools today to talk about ways to shift our awareness, a new perspective. Because sometimes that's all it takes, isn't it? Is a new perspective and a new way of looking at something. How many keep a gratitude journal? A lot of us do. A lot of us keep a gratitude journal. It's a wonderful practice of listing out the things that we're grateful for that have happened, right? As I said, it's a reaction to what has happened. It keeps us present to that good that's forever flowing to us. And it does help us in staying aware of appreciation and looking for that good. I want to invite you to consider a little something different in that practice. Look at gratitude as a lens. If you think about driving and you look in the rearview mirror, what do you see? You see what's behind us, right? You see what's back of the car and traffic back there and stuff. It's everything that's behind us. That's sort of like keeping that gratitude journal. When we look through the forward windshield, we're looking at what's coming towards us. And that's what we're talking about, is looking at life through grateful eyes, looking out at life through grateful eyes and not just in the rearview mirror. Instead of trying to remember what we're grateful for, our aim is to begin seeing through those grateful eyes. It means a shift in perception. It means a shift in perception. We begin to notice the miracles of the table, miracles in the ordinary, and understand that our experiences are teachers. And remember that life isn't against us, it's for us. Always, always, always for us. And because we're looking through the lens of gratitude, looking through the forward windshield, we see it coming towards us. We recognize it, we make it welcome. To open our eyes to grateful eyes, we shift from that reactive gratitude to reacting to it and saying, oh, thank you for that. That makes me feel grateful, to simply being grateful, to perceiving gratitude and being grateful all the time. It's no longer waiting for something to happen, but developing a sense of gratitude as a state of mind and recognizing that God is in everything. This whole thing is about this sense of oneness and remembering that and being grateful for it. We begin living in grace when we start to see everything that's working instead of what's missing. Notice what's working instead of what's missing. Anybody ever driven on the 101? Afternoon, 4 o'clock, southbound. Kind of looks like that sometimes. What do you say? You're in the car, you're headed to a meeting to Tempe, you've got to be there. You hit this. Traffic's awful. I'm going to be so late. It's going to be horrible. What if instead our automatic perspective was, okay, I might be late. I have a safe car. I'm safe in my car. I have some space to think. I have some quiet time. I have a book on my phone I can listen to. I can call a friend and catch up. I'm going to be late. I don't like that, but there's nothing I can do about it. I'm grateful to have this time, a little extra time to listen to another chapter of my book. That's my thing. Listen to another chapter of my book. But what if our perspective shifted and we were grateful for that? We're grateful for that. This is a spiritual practice that will help us to shift that thinking to where that reaction becomes our go-to when we see that traffic jam, that we don't instantly grip the steering wheel and go into a fit about how late we're going to be, that we instantly go into gratitude. Ooh, look what I get to do now. Now, I know this can be a leap, and sometimes our brains need something to chew on to help us get there. So what if we started making up stories? Well, I'm going to be late because I'm not going to be in an accident, because I'm avoiding something by being late and being delayed. That's actually happened to me. Um, what if I'm supposed to meet someone in a serendipitous meeting and they're not going to be there until later? And now I'm going to be later, so we're going to have that serendipitous meeting. Are these better stories than traffic is out to get me? Why are these people here today? Right? It's the power of our mind. We get to make up the story, make up a better one, make up something that creates gratitude for you, not something that creates stress and angst. Excuse me. I'm not suggesting that we deny the traffic. It's not there, it's not there, it's not there. But it is a shift in how we think and how we use the power of our minds. You are very powerful in your mind. You see examples of this in your daily life every day. How we can get ourselves wound up, how we can bring ourselves joy. We we have such power to do that. I'm suggesting that we use it through this lens of gratitude. We change and shift our emphasis from frustration and anger over traffic situations or other situations that we cannot change. We shift that to curiosity. Whew, I wonder where God is in that traffic jam. Is that a better question? Give your mind something to ponder, right? We shift that new habit of thinking to stop looking at what we cannot change. Get so frustrated at stuff we can't change, don't we? Stuff that's outside of our sphere of influence. This is all we can change, is how we feel, think, act about whatever's going on. This is all we have control over. In the beginning of this, you may need to make up those reasons, like I said, that that helps to make up those stories, make up those reasons for why you should be grateful in this situation. But grateful eyes see the intelligence in the chaos, sees the order in uncertainty. It sees love in contrast and sees spirit in all forms. Can we see spirit in all forms? Can we know that God is right there where that is, whatever it is? Seeing life through a lens of gratitude is a conscious choice that we get to make of seeing God in everything. To live from thank you is living from a state of grace. So I have 3 spiritual practices for you to try this week to begin to shift to this idea of living from thank you. Number 1 is start a no exceptions gratitude list. Each night, write down 3 things that you're grateful for. That's pretty easy. And 1 thing that feels really hard to be grateful for. 1 thing that it feels really hard to be grateful for, and find gratitude in that. Find God in that hard thing. It may be something that you're in the midst of, it may be something on the news. Find a way to find some gratitude in the midst of it. This practice allows us to acknowledge the good, but also the not so good. That's still part of oneness. There are no exceptions. Everything is included in the spiritual circle of gratitude. Try for a few days and notice how you do with it. Can you find spirit in it? Are you resistant to it? And stick with it and just see how you do with it. Number 2 is called 3 breaths. And this really takes about 20 seconds. The first breath, thank you for this moment. Thank you for this moment. The second breath, thank you for what I can't see. Thank you for what I can't see. This one's particularly helpful when things aren't happening on our timeline. Thank you for what I can't see. And number 3, thank you for the wholeness within all appearances. Again, judging not by appearances, we judge by wholeness. Thank you for the wholeness within all appearances. You can do these anytime you're feeling challenged. And the third one is thank you for it all. Thank you for it all. Thank you for what was easy. Are we grateful for what was easy? Thank you for what was hard. Thank you for what was hard. Thank you for what I understood. Thank you for what's still unfolding. And nothing is outside of my good. This is the one that resonated most with me and that I printed out and have put by my bedside this week and spoken every night out loud before going to bed. And I find that it really grounds me in gratitude as I drift off to sleep each night. So I invite you to create your own practice. If any of those resonate more than the others, try all of them, see what works for you. But I think these are really good practices to help us to live from thankfulness rather than for it, looking for a reason to be grateful rather than living in an experience of gratitude. So we can carry a thankful heart into our day and begin living in grace. We'll close with a quote from Mary Davis this morning, who said, "Through the eyes of gratitude, everything is a miracle." So this week, may you live in grace and see spirit in everything. And so it is. All right. Well, I think we're going to pray and sing this morning. Unless anybody has anything they want to talk about, we'll do Q&A if anybody has anything. Let's pray. All right. So as we go within, we recognize that there is only one. There is one life, one mind, one heart. There is one presence and power that is in, through, and as everything that is. It is spirit, it is God, it is source. It's universal energy. It's the allness of life. We know it as the universe. We know it as the stars, and we know it as all of nature. We know it as harmony and balance and peace. We know it as an infinite love pressed down to overflowing, unconditional in its nature, just continuing to love and to give to and through its creation. And I know that I am an expression of that. I am one in that oneness, as is everyone gathered here today, those listening online, those listening later. For we know there is no separation whatsoever. We are united in this one wholeness, this perfection that is life. No separation by time or space. We are united with all of our brothers and sisters on this planet, and with all of life, and with spirit. One, a wholeness, a system. And so knowing this unity that we are, that spirit is, I speak my word for and about all of us gathered here today, knowing that we are gathered in thanksgiving, that we are gathered in love, we are gathered by divine appointment, that we have come here, not by accident, but by divine appointment this day, to be in community together, recognizing that there is a power in presence, in community, in being together in the same room, united in this unity that is life, feeling the energy of each other side by side, sitting here this morning, experiencing this message, hearing in it what we need to hear this day to take out into our week, into our life, and into the reflection of all that we meet and greet and see upon our journey this week through life. Knowing that we can take these principles and practices into our daily living and that we can be a blessing to all that we meet, all that we come across, every experience that we have. For we are like the pebble in the pond, rippling out into the world with our love, our joy, our grace, and sharing that with everyone. I know for anyone that has anything on their heart today that they are seeking prayer around, that as they lift it into this community, into this consciousness this morning, that we hold them in our light and in our love, and we bless them. We bless them, knowing that whatever needs to be healed is healed, whatever needs to be soothed and comforted is comforted, that clarity is gained, that grace flows. For the grace of God is right here now present. And so it is with heart filled with gratitude and thanksgiving that I joyfully release this into the action and activity of law, knowing that it is already done. It is so. That this word spoken is the word made manifest. And we affirm and accept this truth together by saying, and so it is.